Hello, everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beasts All Generation episode number 65. I'm Adam, and today we got two more beasts fighting out for our spot in round two. These beasts, one I'm not a big fan of, the other one I like for its design. I'm not entirely sure who's going to win. I think I know, but I kind of want it to be the other one. Not showing bias, so I promise. Anyway, let's get into this. So, representing Series 4, the Amulet of Avantia. Book number 5, Blaze the Ice Dragon. And representing Series 13, The Warrior's Road. Book number 4, Linka the Sky Conqueror. So both of these beasts are rather interesting in my opinion. They're okay, I guess. As for a battlefield, let's go with a rocky terrain, because I believe they're both fought in a rocky terrain. Yeah, I think they're both fought in a rocky terrain. If not, Blaze was fought in a volcano, frozen over. Yeah. Now we'll get to the stats. We'll start off with Blaze. Spectral form, natural weaponry, ice breath, which is cold enough to freeze an entire volcano, constriction, obvious reasons, and flight. Weaknesses is low temperature requirement, shadow weakness. So when he's in his spectral form, he can still be harmed by shadows. And possession. Blaze is susceptible to being possessed by magic users. I did not know that one. Go on to Linka. Powers and abilities for Linka is flight, natural weaponry, so sharp beak and sharp tail, and resurrection. We're not going to use that one now. Weaknesses is egotistical nature. Linka has a big ego. And inability to land. Linka struggles to land due to having no legs. Pity. That's such a pity. So with that, Blaze versus Linka. Let's get into this. As the chamber doors open, both the beasts burst through the sky exit, staring right at each other. Blaze summons up a ice breath and shoots it right towards Linka. Linka dives down into the rocky terrain and starts using rocks for cover as the rocks are gradually freezing over, encapsulating in ice. Encapsulating, such a grown up word for me. Um, Linka makes her way steadily around these rocks and kind of coming to terms with the fact that she's not going to be able to stop that as Blaze continuing sending the ice breath. Linka flies up and uses the dust and sand that's on the floor as a kind of shield to protect her, kind of way. So she's using her tail to build up a bunch of sand and flap it towards Blaze, where sand is getting in his eyes. Blaze seizes out the ice breath, tries to shake its vision free. But knowing he's vulnerable at the moment, he goes into a spectral form and starts flying away, flying round in circles so Linka can't get to Blaze. Linka seizes out the sand dune, flies above it to try and see where Blaze is, but she can't seem to find him anywhere. It's not until Blaze makes a roar of slight annoyance when Linka notices where Blaze is. Blaze comes out to his spectral form, with a slight bloody gash coming down from the side of his head. So it turns out that Linka's shadow has attacked Blaze in the head by stabbing him with her beak. Linka wasn't aware of this. Blaze wasn't aware of this either. However, some of the audience members noticed that and got confused, but also intrigued by it. Blaze in anger shoots an ice breath towards Linka. Linka dives out of the way and starts soaring up towards Blaze, using her tail to stab Blaze in the stomach and push him upwards, whilst her beak is just biting and stabbing at Blaze's arms on each side. Blaze is using his claws to slash at Linka, gradually getting some fur off, but not doing a lot. Blaze then turns his head around and goes to bite on Linka's tail and yanks Linka off him. He starts swinging his head around and chucks Linka towards the ground and shoots an ice breath towards her. Linka gets hit square with that ice breath and pummels into the ground, shattering any icy rocks. Linka gets back up, feels the icicles coming down from her wings. Linka screeches in pain and agony and anger. She flies back up, and at this point, Blaze is in his spectral form, in which Linka can't see Blaze but notices Blaze's shadow, in which Linka tries to stab at it but it's not working. And in annoyance, she just used her shadow to just attack Blaze, which causes Blaze to recoil in kind of pain. That gives Linka an idea. So she tries again, stabbing Blaze with her tail. Using her shadow tail to stab Blaze's shadow. It worked again. And then there's blood drops just appearing. It, somewhere over there in front of Linka. Linka notices that. And Linka realizes that could be her advantage. So she uses the shadow of her tail and goes to stab Blaze in the top of the head, deep to where the tail of the shadow sticks back through the bottom of Blaze's head. Blaze comes out of his spectral form, roaring in agony, with blood dripping down from his chin but spewing out of his head. He shoots an ice breath towards Linka. Linka sees it just in time, ducks out of the way, and charges right towards Blaze. And using her tail with full power, she forces it right through one side of Blaze's head, and it comes out the other side. Blaze roars in pain, but also shock and agony. And Blaze can feel his strength dwindling. He wraps himself around Linka right before his his strength to fly disappears. And they both start falling down to the ground. Linka's trying her hardest to struggle her way out of this. And Linka, as they're pummeling down to the ground, Linka wraps her tail around a coil of Blaze, pulls it up, and Linka slides her way through Blaze's coils and gets out of the way before Blaze pummels down to the ground in a very weak state for Blaze. Linka flies down to Blaze. Blaze is making very weak roars or groans, and Linka decides that, you know what, he hurt me, I'm going to make him suffer. So Linka, then using her tail, stabs Blaze in the eye, pulls one of Blaze's eyes out, and blood starts gushing out of his eye there. Blaze is roaring in pain. Linka knows Blaze will die eventually, and Linka decides that Blaze should suffer for what he did to her. So Linka flies off back to her chamber, leaving Blaze to die a long, painful death. So Linka's won, Blaze has lost. Linka, you're a psychopath. Now, if you think Blaze should have won, please in the comments below why you think that. However, my word's final and Linka's moving on to the next round. Personally, I could have saw either of them winning, but I gave Linka the victory because Blaze can't attack while he's in his spectral form. That is a rule which I implemented so the ghost beasts don't get too overpowered. Linka eventually noticed that she can attack Blaze still with her shadow. And of course, that was Blaze's downfall. Blaze tried to attack, but Linka's able to dodge it with her swift agility, and finished off. Finished off Blaze using using Linka's intelligence against him. Try and pry herself free from Blaze's coils, and then Linka decided to do the psychopath ending by letting Blaze die a slow, painful death. Alright, if I'm being honest, I think I prefer to die the way what's this? Raptex. I think I prefer to die the way Raptex did than Blaze did. They both died from Season 13 Beast. I'd rather die from Slivka's hands than Linka's hands. I don't know. Season 13 Beast, they're psychopaths. I'm telling you right now. Is this going to be an arc which is going to be made in this series? But with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, you'd like to leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down the corner below, and I'll see you next time.